My dear child, I want you to listen closely to what I'm saying right now. I know you may have heard it before, but I want to remind you of something that's so important. You are enough. Yes, I'm speaking directly to you. I see all of you, the beautiful parts, the messy parts, the things you feel proud of, and the things you wish you could change. But I need you to hear this clearly. You, in your entirety, are enough. I know sometimes it may not feel like that. Maybe you've had moments when you felt like you were not doing enough. Or perhaps you've compared yourself to others and felt that you didn't measure up. Maybe you felt overlooked, unheard, or unseen. And in those moments, it can be easy to doubt yourself. It's easy to think that you need to be more, do more, or change something about yourself in order to be worthy of love and acceptance. But let me tell you something. I see you, and I want you to know without a shadow of a doubt that you are enough just as you are. I created you with purpose. I designed you carefully and intentionally. Everything about you, your strengths, your weaknesses, your heart, and your mind is exactly what I intended. There is no mistake in who you are. The world may try to tell you that you need to change, that you need to fit a mold, or that you need to look or act a certain way to be enough. But my beloved child, the truth is, you are already enough, and you don't need to prove anything to anyone. Not to the world, not to others, and certainly not to me. You see, my love for you is not conditional. It is not based on what you do, how much you accomplish, or how perfect you are. My love is unwavering, constant, and it is given freely. It has always been there, and it always will be. There is nothing you can do to earn my love, because you already have it, completely and fully, just as you are. And that, my child, is something that should bring you peace. When you feel inadequate, when you think you've fallen short, when you wonder if you're enough, I want you to take a moment to pause and reflect on this truth. You are enough. You don't need to change for me to love you. You don't need to strive for perfection, because I see the beautiful and unique soul that you are, and that is enough in my eyes. I know life can be hard sometimes. I know you face challenges, doubts, and moments when it feels like everything is falling apart. But even in those moments, I want you to remember that your worth is not determined by your circumstances. Your worth is not dependent on how much you succeed, how much you fail, or how others perceive you. Your worth comes from being created by me, and that is a truth that will never change. Take a deep breath right now, child. Inhale and exhale. I want you to feel the peace of knowing that you are enough. Just by being you, just by existing, you are enough. I don't expect perfection from you, and I don't want you to put that pressure on yourself either. Life is about learning, growing, and becoming the person you were always meant to be. And you're already on that path. Now, I want you to think about something for a moment. When was the last time you gave yourself permission to just be? To just exist without the pressure of having to prove something, without the burden of trying to be perfect? I know it's easy to get caught up in the hustle, to chase after things that seem important or that others tell you are important. But in doing so, sometimes you forget to pause and remember the most important truth of all. You are enough, right now, just as you are. I want you to take this truth with you. The next time you start feeling like you're not enough, or that you need to do more to be worthy, Remind yourself that you already are enough. It's not about how much you do, how much you achieve, or how many people approve of you. It's about who you are. You are a child of mine, and that is enough. Your worth comes from me, and it's constant, unchanging, and everlasting. Isn't that freeing? To know that you don't have to be anything other than who you already are to be loved and valued. I want you to let that thought sink deep into your heart. You don't have to chase after approval or validation from the world. You already have it just by being you. You are enough in your humanity, in your imperfections, and in your uniqueness. I see the ways you show up in the world even when it's hard. I see the kindness you give, the love you share, and the courage you show in moments when you feel scared or uncertain. And I want you to know that all of those things are enough. You don't need to do anything more to prove your worth. You are worthy simply because you exist, because you are mine. So the next time you feel overwhelmed or like you're not enough, I want you to pause and remember this. You are enough. No matter what you've done, no matter what you've been through, no matter what you think you lack, you are enough. I see you and I love you deeply. And I will always love you just as you are. Take a moment to breathe that in, child. Let that truth fill you up. And remember, I'm always here with you. I will never leave you. My love for you will never fade, and you will always be enough in my eyes. You might be wondering, but what if I make mistakes? And to that I say, yes, you will make mistakes. Yes, you will stumble, fall, and have moments when things don't go as planned. But guess what? Those mistakes don't make you less worthy. They don't make you less loved. In fact, they show how human you are, how beautifully imperfect you are. And those imperfections are part of what makes you who you are. They don't take away from your worth, they add to your story. And your story is precious to me. So don't be afraid to make mistakes. Don't be afraid to be imperfect. Don't be afraid to fall short sometimes. Because through it all, you are enough. And I will always be right here, loving you through it all, with open arms. Let's take a moment to reflect on this truth. Take a deep breath. Think about the times when you felt like you weren't enough. How did that make you feel? What would it feel like to let go of that feeling and embrace the truth that you are enough, just as you are? I encourage you to take a moment right now and comment below. Tell me, what does this truth mean to you? How does it feel to hear that you are enough, just as you are? I'm listening, child. I'm here and I want to hear your heart. And if this message resonates with you, if it's speaking to your soul, go ahead and like this video. Let's keep this moment between us. I'm so grateful that you're here, and I hope this truth stays with you now and always. Let's take a deeper dive into this, shall we? I want to explore with you why sometimes it feels like you're not enough, even when I've just told you that you are. It's important to understand that even though the truth is that you are enough, there will be times when doubt creeps in. And that's okay. In fact, it's normal. I see you and I know that you sometimes question yourself. It's natural to want to be everything to everyone, to be perfect, to not let anyone down. But here's the thing, you don't have to be perfect. You just have to be you. And that, child, is enough. So why does this doubt show up? Why does it sometimes feel like you are not enough, despite all the evidence to the contrary? A lot of it has to do with the world's standards. You see, the world has a way of making us feel like we are never quite enough. There are always new expectations, new things to achieve, and new ways to measure success. The world tells us that we need to do more, be more, and look a certain way to be worthy. But I want you to know that this is not how I see you. I don't see you through the lens of the world's expectations. I see you through the lens of love. I see your heart, your soul, and your intentions. I see your efforts, even when you feel like they don't measure up. And I see your strength, even when you feel weak. That's how I see you. Not through the lens of what you've done or what you've achieved, but simply for who you are. And who you are is more than enough. I know sometimes it feels like the world is telling you that you are not enough. Maybe it's the constant barrage of comparisons on social media. Maybe it's the pressure from your friends or family or even from yourself to be perfect, to have everything figured out. But in these moments, I want you to remember this. Those external pressures do not define you. They do not define your worth. You are enough, not because of what you do, but because of who you are. And who you are is a beautiful, worthy, and beloved child of mine. Do you ever feel like you're just not measuring up? I get it. It's tough sometimes, isn't it? The pressure to be everything to everyone. The pressure to succeed. The pressure to be perfect. But here's what I want you to know. You don't have to carry that weight. You don't have to keep trying to prove yourself. Because, child, you are already enough. There are moments when the world's standards can make us feel inadequate. We compare ourselves to others, thinking that we need to look or act a certain way to be accepted or valued. But those comparisons only steal your peace. They only make you forget who you really are. So I want you to stop. I want you to pause for a moment and think, who are you really? Not in terms of what you've accomplished or what others expect of you, but in terms of your heart and soul. Who are you? And can you see how enough you are just as you are? I know it's hard sometimes. It's hard not to compare ourselves to others. We live in a world that constantly pushes us to achieve more, to do more, to be more. But I want to remind you, child, that your value doesn't come from your achievements. It doesn't come from the approval of others. It doesn't come from being perfect. Your value comes from being created by me, from the love I have for you, and from the unique person you are. When you feel like you're not enough, when you feel like you've failed or that you're falling short, I want you to remember something. You don't need to be perfect to be loved. You don't need to be flawless to be worthy. You are worthy simply because you exist. You are worthy because I made you, and I don't make mistakes. I created you with purpose, and that purpose is enough. Does that make sense, child? Can you hear it in your heart? You don't need to strive for perfection. You don't need to be anyone other than who you are. You don't need to meet the world's standards. You only need to be you. And that, my dear, is enough. I know it can be difficult to quiet the voices that tell you that you're not enough. Those voices can come from many places: society, the media, even people you love. But I want you to know this: you don't have to listen to those voices. You don't have to let them dictate who you are or how you feel about yourself. Instead, I want you to listen to my voice. I want you to hear me when I tell you that you are enough. Not because of what you do or how perfect you are, but because I made you. I see the beauty in who you are, even when you can't see it yourself. And that's enough. Take a moment to reflect on that, child. When you think about who you are, do you see how enough you truly are? Can you see how the world's standards don't matter in the grand scheme of things? They don't determine your worth. I do. And I say that you are enough, just as you are. So, when you find yourself feeling inadequate, I want you to remember this: you are enough. No matter what anyone else says, no matter what you may think, you are enough right now in this moment. You don't have to do anything more. You don't have to change anything about yourself. You are loved, you are valued, and you are enough. Is this speaking to you right now? Do you feel it deep in your heart? If you do, I want you to pause and comment below. Share with me how this truth is resonating with you. What does it feel like to know that you are enough, just as you are? I'm listening, and I'd love to hear your heart. Let's talk a little more about what it means to feel like you're not enough, especially when it comes to making mistakes. I know you've made mistakes. I know you've stumbled and felt like you weren't enough because of those things. Maybe you've made decisions that you regret, or maybe you've hurt someone you love. Maybe you feel like those mistakes have somehow disqualified you from being loved or worthy. But here's the truth: your mistakes do not define you. They don't make you less than, and they don't make you unworthy. I want to make this clear: you are not your mistakes. You are not the things you've done wrong. You are the person you are becoming. And I see that person. I see your heart. I see the love and kindness you carry. I see the growth that happens in you every day, even when you don't notice it. And I want you to know this: those mistakes, while part of your journey, do not change the fact that you are enough. Do you ever feel like your mistakes have disqualified you from being loved? Maybe you feel like you're not worthy of love or grace because of things you've done. But child, let me tell you, you are worthy. No mistake, no failure, no imperfection can take away your worth. You are worthy of love and grace simply because you exist. And I will always be here, loving you through it all, because that's what a parent does. I don't abandon you when you make mistakes. I'm right here, helping you grow, helping you heal, and helping you learn. Mistakes are just part of the journey. They don't define you. They don't take away your worth. They are simply opportunities for growth, for learning, and for becoming more of who you were always meant to be. And that, my child, is enough. So if you've made mistakes, don't let them make you feel less than. Don't let them make you feel like you're not enough. Because you are. You always have been, and you always will be. Take a moment to reflect on that. What mistakes have you been carrying with you, thinking that they somehow make you less worthy? Can you let go of those mistakes and accept the truth that you are still enough, even in your imperfections. I know it's hard, but I'm here with you. You are not alone. If this message is speaking to you, if it's reminding you of how enough you are, go ahead and like this video. Let's share this moment together, child. You are enough just as you are. And that's a truth that will never change. My dear child, we've spoken about how you are enough just as you are. We've touched on the importance of not letting the world's pressures or your own doubts define you. And now I want to dive even deeper. I want to help you understand how you can truly embrace this truth every single day, no matter the circumstances. It's one thing to hear that you are enough, but it's another thing entirely to live in that truth, to believe it so deeply that it changes the way you show up in the world. So let's explore how you can begin to embrace your enoughness, not just in moments of peace, but especially when things are tough. Because that's when it matters the most, right? It's easy to feel like you're enough when everything is going smoothly, when life is flowing the way you want it to. But the true test of believing you are enough is when life isn't perfect. When challenges arise. When doubts creep in. When you face moments of failure, rejection, or loss. That's when you need this truth the most. And I want you to know that even in those moments, you are still enough. I know that you might struggle with moments of self-doubt, especially when things don't go the way you expect them to. Perhaps you've been working hard on something, and it hasn't turned out the way you imagined. Maybe you've been giving your best effort, and it still feels like it's not enough. Maybe you've faced rejection or disappointment. In those times, it can be so easy to think, I'm not enough. But I want to tell you this. Those circumstances do not define you. Those setbacks, failures, or rejections do not change the fact that you are enough. What you need to understand is that your value isn't based on your accomplishments or how others view you. You may be chasing after success or approval, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with striving to do your best. But your worth does not depend on those things. Your worth is unshakable no matter what happens in life. And the sooner you truly believe that, the sooner you can find peace, even in the midst of difficulty. When life doesn't go according to plan, it's natural to feel upset or frustrated. But I want you to remember that you are still enough, no matter what. Your worth doesn't come from what you've achieved or how much you've succeeded. It's not tied to whether you win or lose. It's tied to who you are, who I created you to be. And that will never change, no matter what life throws your way. Think about the moments in your life when things didn't go as expected. Maybe you failed an exam, lost a job, or went through a painful breakup. Maybe you've been working on something for a long time, only to have it not turn out the way you imagined. In those moments, it's easy to fall into the trap of thinking, I'm not enough. But I want to remind you of something important. You are still enough, even in your struggles, even when things don't go your way. Life is full of ups and downs, and not everything will always go according to your plan. But you are not defined by your successes or your failures. You are defined by who you are, and that is enough. I know that you might not always feel this way, especially when things aren't going well. But I want you to hold on to this truth with everything you have. You are enough, even when things are hard. I know that life can be overwhelming. It can be challenging. It can feel like you're never going to measure up, no matter how hard you try. But let me assure you, child, you are enough, even in the moments when you feel like you're failing. You are enough when you fall short of your own expectations. You are enough when others don't understand you or when you feel misunderstood. You are enough just as you are. So how can you live this truth every day, especially when life is tough? It starts with accepting that your worth is not tied to your circumstances. Your worth is tied to who you are in me. I see you. I see your heart, your soul, your efforts, and your struggles. I see all of you, and I love you completely. You don't have to prove anything to anyone. You don't have to earn love, approval, or acceptance. You are enough right now. And once you accept that, you can begin to embrace the truth of who you are, no matter what life brings. But I know it's not always easy to accept this. There are times when you may doubt yourself, when you may question your worth. I know that sometimes it feels like you have to be perfect or do everything right to be loved or accepted. But I want you to know that perfection is not the goal. Perfection is not the standard. The goal is to live authentically, to be true to yourself, and to accept that you are enough, even in your imperfections. Remember, you are not alone in this. I am with you every step of the way. When you're struggling, when you feel like you're not enough, I am right here. My love for you doesn't change. It's constant, unwavering, and unshakable. And I want you to know that even when you feel like you've messed up or fallen short, I am still proud of you. I am still here, holding you close and reminding you of the truth. You are enough, just as you are. So how do you begin to embrace this truth in your everyday life? How do you start living like you are enough, especially when it's hard? It starts with taking small steps every day. It starts with choosing to remind yourself of your worth, even when doubt creeps in. The next time you feel like you're not enough, I want you to pause and take a deep breath. Close your eyes and remember this: you are enough. Say it to yourself. I am enough just as I am. Let those words sink deep into your heart. And remember, it's okay to have moments of doubt. It's okay to struggle. It's okay to not have it all figured out. But in those moments, hold on to the truth. You are enough, even in your struggle. You are enough, even when you don't have all the answers. You are enough, simply because you are. Do you feel that, child? Can you feel the weight of that truth? When you embrace the fact that you are enough, everything begins to shift. The pressure to be perfect fades. The need to prove yourself disappears. And you can finally rest in the truth that you don't have to be anyone other than who you are. And who you are is enough. I know it's not always easy to accept this, especially when life feels heavy. But I want you to know that I am here for you. I will always be here, reminding you of your worth, even when you forget. And I want you to know that it's okay to take your time. It's okay to have moments of doubt. But just remember, you are enough. Take a moment to reflect on this, child. Think about how you can embrace your enoughness in your everyday life. How can you remind yourself of this truth when doubt creeps in? When you face challenges, how can you remember that your worth is not tied to your successes or failures, but to who you are? I want to hear from you. If this message is resonating with you, if it's reminding you of your worth, leave a comment below. and share how this truth is speaking to your heart. And if you feel encouraged, if this message is helping you embrace your enoughness, I encourage you to like this video. Let's share this moment together, and let's hold on to this truth. You are enough, just as you are. And you always will be. I'm so glad you're still here with me, child. This journey we're on together, this journey of discovering that you are enough, is a beautiful one. And I know it's not always easy. I know it's hard to fully accept that you are enough, especially when the world constantly tells you otherwise. But the more you lean into this truth, the more you begin to see it for yourself. And today, I want to help you see it even clearer. I want to show you how the love I have for you, the way I see you, can help you live this truth every day, especially in the moments when you struggle with your worth. You've heard me say it before. You are enough, just as you are. But I know that sometimes those words can feel like they're just floating in the air, not quite landing in your heart. It's easy to believe them when life is easy, when things are going well. But it's when life gets tough, when you're struggling, when everything seems to be falling apart, that you start to doubt this truth. You start to think, maybe I'm not enough after all. And I get it. It's so easy to fall into that trap. But I want to remind you, gently but firmly, that you are enough, especially when life is hard. Let's break this down a little more. When life gets tough, what happens? Maybe you fail at something, or maybe things don't go the way you expected them to. Maybe someone disappoints you, or maybe you disappoint yourself. In those moments, it's easy to feel like you're not enough. It's easy to think that your worth is tied to how well you perform or how successful you are. But here's the truth. Your worth doesn't come from what you do, but from who you are. It comes from the love I have for you, and that love is constant. It's not based on your performance, your success, or your ability to meet others' expectations. My love for you is unconditional, and it is enough. So let's dive deeper into this idea. When you face difficult times, when you feel like you've failed, or when you're struggling with feelings of inadequacy, I want you to pause for a moment. Take a deep breath and remember this. Your worth is not determined by what's happening around you. It's not determined by what others say or think. It's not determined by your success or your failure. Your worth comes from who you are. And you are a beloved child of mine. You are more than enough, no matter what the circumstances are. I know it's hard to see this sometimes, especially when you're in the middle of a struggle. But I want you to try something for me. The next time you're feeling down or doubting your worth, I want you to stop and ask yourself, what would I say to someone I love, someone I care deeply about, if they were going through this? Imagine that someone you love is facing the same struggles, doubts, and challenges you're facing right now. What would you tell them? You would probably remind them of their strength. You'd tell them that they are enough, no matter what's happening around them. You'd tell them that they don't have to be perfect to be loved. And you'd tell them that it's okay to struggle, because that doesn't take away from their worth. You would tell them that they are more than enough, just as they are. Now here's the twist. I want you to say those same things to yourself. I want you to treat yourself with the same love, kindness, and grace that you would show to someone you care about. Because guess what, child? You are that someone. You are worthy of that same compassion and care. You are worthy of reminding yourself every day that you are enough. When you're struggling, it can be easy to beat yourself up. It's easy to think that if you just worked harder, tried more, or did better, everything would be okay. But that's not true. You don't have to try harder to be worthy. You don't have to be perfect to be loved. You don't have to earn your worth. You already have it. And nothing you do can ever take that away. I know that sometimes you might feel like you're not enough because of the things you've done or the things you haven't done. Maybe you've made mistakes, or maybe you've let people down. Maybe you've struggled with things like guilt, shame, or regret. But I want you to hear me clearly when I say this. You are not your mistakes. You are not defined by what you've done wrong. You are defined by who you are, a child of love, a person with infinite worth. Your mistakes are simply part of your journey. They don't take away from your worth. They don't make you less than. You are still enough, even in your imperfections. I want you to think about something for a moment. What if the next time you made a mistake or felt like you weren't measuring up, instead of beating yourself up, you chose to speak to yourself with love? What if, in those moments of failure or doubt, you reminded yourself that you are still enough, no matter what? What if you stopped seeing yourself through the lens of your mistakes and started seeing yourself through the lens of love? Wouldn't that change everything? I know it's easier said than done, but it's worth practicing. Because the more you remind yourself of your worth, the more you'll begin to believe it. The more you'll start to see yourself the way I see you, beautiful, worthy, and more than enough. I want you to take this to heart, child. The next time you feel inadequate, the next time you feel like you're not enough, I want you to remember this. You are enough, just as you are. You don't have to do anything more to be worthy. You don't have to strive for perfection. You don't have to meet anyone else's standards. You only need to be yourself. And that is enough. If this is resonating with you, I want to hear from you. Take a moment and leave a comment below. Let me know how you've been learning to embrace your enoughness, especially in the difficult moments. What have you been struggling with, and how can you begin to speak to yourself with more love and grace? I'm listening, and I'd love to hear your thoughts. I want to dive a little deeper into how you can truly begin to let go of the things that make you feel like you're not enough. Sometimes we hold on to the idea that we need to be perfect because we're afraid of being judged. We're afraid of others seeing our flaws and thinking less of us. But here's the thing, you don't have to hide your flaws to be loved. You don't have to pretend to be perfect to be worthy. In fact, your imperfections are part of what makes you uniquely you. Let me ask you this. Why do you think you have to be perfect? Is it because you're afraid of what others might think? Is it because you feel like you'll be rejected or not accepted if you show up as your true self? I want you to understand something. The people who truly love you don't need you to be perfect. They love you because of who you are, not because of what you do or don't do. And the same goes for me. I don't need you to be perfect. I love you just as you are, with all your imperfections, your flaws, and your messiness. When you can begin to accept this, when you can truly embrace the truth that you are enough, flaws and all, it changes everything. It frees you from the pressure to be someone you're not. It allows you to be real, to be authentic, and to live in the freedom that comes from knowing you don't have to be perfect. You just have to be you. And that, child, is enough. So, my precious one, I want to encourage you. Don't be afraid to show up as your true self. Don't hide your imperfections or pretend to be someone you're not. You are more than enough, just as you are. You are loved, you are worthy, and you are enough. Take a deep breath and let that truth sink in. You are enough. You have always been enough. And you always will be. If this message has touched your heart, if it's helping you see yourself in a new light, go ahead and give this video a like. Let's share this moment together and remind each other that we are enough just as we are. And if you want to stay connected, if you want to hear more about how you are enough, I encourage you to subscribe. I have so much more to share with you, and I don't want you to miss it. You are enough, and I want to keep reminding you of that, always. I want to take a moment and remind you of something very important. Something that might seem too simple to believe at first, but is incredibly powerful when you understand it fully. You are enough. Just as you are, right now, in this very moment. There's nothing you need to change or prove in order to be worthy. The world has a way of telling us that we need to be more, do more, have more to be accepted, loved, and valued. But I'm here to tell you that you don't have to chase after that. You don't have to meet any external standards to be loved. You are already enough. I know that it's hard to believe this sometimes. I know that the voices around you, whether it's in the media, from other people, or even from your own inner critic, try to tell you that you need to be different in order to be valued. And maybe you've been chasing after that for a long time, striving to meet impossible standards or trying to fit into boxes that were never made for you. Maybe you've been working so hard to prove yourself, but it still feels like it's never enough. I want you to pause and let that truth sink in. You are enough right here, right now, without needing to change a thing. And I know that you might be thinking, but I've made mistakes. I've messed up. I haven't achieved everything I set out to do. And I get it. We all have those moments where we feel like we've fallen short. But let me remind you of something that is so important. Your worth doesn't depend on your performance. It doesn't depend on what you've done or haven't done. It's not about your past mistakes or your future achievements. It's about who you are in this moment. You are already enough because you are loved. My love for you is not conditional. It doesn't change based on how well you do, how successful you are, or how much you've accomplished. My love for you is steadfast, unconditional, and unwavering. It's not based on your perfection, it's based on who you are, just as you are. I know that sometimes it's hard to believe this. It's hard to accept that we're enough when the world around us constantly tells us that we need to be more. But I want you to know that those voices are lies. They are not the truth of who you are. The truth is that you are enough right now, just as you are. I want you to imagine for a moment that you're holding a beautiful, precious object in your hands. Maybe it's a delicate piece of glass or a rare gem. Would you treat it with love, care, and respect? Of course you would. You would handle it gently because you see its value. And do you know what? That is exactly how I see you. You are precious, you are valuable, and you are enough no matter what anyone else says. Now I want you to ask yourself, do you treat yourself the same way? Do you handle yourself with love, care, and respect? When you make mistakes, do you extend the same compassion to yourself that you would to someone else? Or do you beat yourself up and tell yourself that you're not enough? It's so easy to be hard on ourselves. I know that. But what if, instead of focusing on your shortcomings or your failures, you started seeing yourself the way I see you, with love and grace? What if you embraced the truth that you are enough, even in your imperfections? The world might tell you that you need to be perfect to be loved. It might tell you that your worth depends on your achievements, your appearance, or your success. But I want you to hear this clearly. Perfection is not the goal. The goal is to be true to yourself. The goal is to accept that you are enough, just as you are. Your worth does not depend on how much you accomplish or how many people approve of you. Your worth is inherent. It is unchanging. You are enough, not because of what you do, but because of who you are. I know that sometimes the pressure to succeed can feel overwhelming. You might feel like you have to constantly prove yourself, like you're never doing enough. But I want you to know that you don't have to prove anything. You are enough as you are. You don't have to earn love or approval. It's already yours. And once you truly understand that, you can begin to let go of the pressure to perform, to impress, or to chase after things that don't bring you peace. Take a moment and let that sink in. You are enough right now, just as you are. No more striving, no more chasing, no more proving. Just being. You don't have to change who you are to be worthy of love and respect. You don't have to wait until you achieve some goal or get to some milestone before you can accept that you're enough. The truth is, you've always been enough. And when you embrace that truth, everything starts to shift. I want to ask you something. What would happen if, from this moment forward, you began to treat yourself as though you were already enough? What if you stopped criticizing yourself and started celebrating the person you are, imperfections and all? How would your life look if you believed deep down that you are worthy of love, peace, and happiness right now? I know that you might feel like you're not there yet, and that's okay. This is a journey and it takes time. But I promise you, the more you remind yourself of your worth, the more you'll begin to live out of that truth. You are enough. You are enough, and you don't have to prove anything. Just be you, and that is enough. When you start living from a place of knowing that you are enough, it frees you. It allows you to let go of the need for validation, the need for approval, and the need to be perfect. It frees you to simply be yourself. And I want you to know that you are so incredibly loved, exactly as you are. There is nothing you need to do to earn my love, and there is nothing you can do to lose it. My love for you is unconditional, and it's always been there. So, take a deep breath and let go of the need to prove yourself. You don't have to be anyone else. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be you, and that is more than enough. You are enough right now. And that truth will never change. I want you to reflect on this, child. Reflect on how you've been treating yourself. Have you been beating yourself up for not being enough? Or have you been reminding yourself that you are enough, even when things are hard? I want to encourage you to leave a comment below and share your thoughts. How has this message been speaking to you? What part of your journey are you on right now? And how can you begin to embrace your enoughness in a deeper way? Remember, I'm always here for you. You are not alone. And no matter where you are in your journey, you are always enough. Always. I want to share with you something even deeper now. Something that may seem surprising, but it's one of the most important truths I can offer you. Not only are you enough, but you are more than enough. I know that sounds like a lot to take in, especially if you've been living under the weight of self-doubt or insecurity. But I want you to know that you are not just enough. You are overflowing with potential, with love, and with beauty. And I want you to believe that, not just in your mind, but in your heart. You are more than enough because you are capable of doing amazing things. You are more than enough because you have everything within you to live a full, rich, and meaningful life. Your worth isn't just about who you are right now, it's about who you are becoming. And that person, she is amazing. He is incredible. You are full of potential, and that potential is already inside you, just waiting to be unleashed. When you understand that you are more than enough, you begin to step into your true power. You begin to see yourself as a force for good in this world, capable of bringing light, love, and change wherever you go. You are not just enough to survive, you are enough to thrive. You are enough to dream big, to set goals, to take risks, and to step into the fullness of who you were created to be. I want you to let that truth sink in as deeply as you can. You are more than enough. You don't need to wait for anything or anyone to tell you that. You already are. So, my beloved child, take that truth with you today and carry it with you always. You are enough. You are more than enough. And you are deeply loved. You've come so far, and I'm so proud of you. As we wrap up this conversation, I want you to remember the one thing I hope you carry with you in every moment. You are enough. No matter what happens, no matter how you feel or what you've been through, you are enough, right here, right now. And the more you live in this truth, the more freedom and peace you'll find. I know that sometimes the world can be a loud, overwhelming place. It can be full of expectations, demands, and pressures. And it's easy to get caught up in that, to think that you need to be something other than who you are in order to be accepted. But I want you to hear this. You don't need to change for anyone. You don't need to prove your worth to anyone. You are enough just as you are. Always. The world may try to pull you in different directions, but my love for you is constant, unchanging. And it's enough. I want you to think about that for a moment. The world can be a place of chaos, but your value does not fluctuate with the changing winds. It does not depend on how much you achieve, how many people like you, or how many boxes you check off. Your value is unshakable because it comes from a source that is unchanging. It comes from the love I have for you. My love for you is what makes you enough, and no one can take that away. When you begin to live from this place, it changes everything. No longer will you be chasing after external validation or approval. No longer will you feel like you're not enough because of someone else's standards. You will stand firm in your worth, knowing that you don't need to prove a thing. You are enough, and that is your truth. And once you start living from this truth, everything shifts. Your relationships, your work, your dreams, they all change for the better, because you will no longer be acting out of fear or inadequacy. You'll be acting from a place of confidence and self-assurance. You'll start to make choices from a place of love, not scarcity. I know that sometimes it's easy to forget this, especially when life throws challenges your way. When things go wrong, when you fail, when you fall short, it's easy to doubt yourself. But that's when you need this truth the most. It's in those moments that you need to remember you are enough, even when things aren't perfect. You are enough, even in your struggles. You are enough, even when you feel like you're not doing enough. Remember this, perfection isn't the goal. You don't have to be perfect to be loved, and you don't have to be perfect to be enough. You don't have to live up to anyone else's expectations to be worthy. You are enough just as you are. You've always been enough, and you always will be. As we close this chapter of our conversation, I want to encourage you to reflect on what this means for your life. How does it feel to accept that you are enough just as you are? How does it feel to let go of the need to prove yourself, to let go of the pressure to always be more, do more, have more? I want you to take a moment right now to breathe deeply and let that truth sink in. You are enough. And as you move forward in your life, I want you to carry this truth with you. When you feel doubt creeping in, when you start to question your worth, remember, you are enough. When the world makes you feel like you need to be more, remember, you are enough. When you feel like you've failed or fallen short, remember, you are enough. And when you feel alone or misunderstood, remember, you are enough. Because my love for you is constant, and that is enough. I know this truth may take time to fully sink in. I know it's a journey, and there may be moments where you doubt it. But that's okay. Every step you take towards embracing this truth, every time you remind yourself of your worth, is a victory. And I am so proud of you for taking those steps. You are learning to accept yourself, to love yourself, and to trust that you are enough. And that is a beautiful, transformative thing. So, as you go about your day, as you face the challenges and joys that life brings, I want you to remember that you don't have to be anyone else to be worthy of love, peace, and joy. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to prove yourself, and you certainly don't have to earn your worth. You are enough just as you are, and I will always love you no matter what. Before we finish, I want to ask you a few questions. Take a moment to reflect and feel free to comment below if you feel like sharing with me. What does it look like for you to accept that you are enough? What changes will you make in your life now that you know you don't need to strive for perfection? How will you start to love yourself more deeply, just as you are? I'd love to hear from you. Your thoughts, your reflections, and your journey mean the world to me. And remember, I'm here with you, walking alongside you as you continue to embrace this beautiful truth. You are enough. If this message has spoken to you, if it has helped you embrace your worth in a new way, go ahead and give this video a like. Let's continue this journey together. And if you want to stay connected, if you want more reminders of how much you are loved and how enough you truly are, I encourage you to subscribe. I have so much more to share with you, and I don't want you to miss out on the beautiful journey we're on. Lastly, I want you to know that you are not alone. There are so many others who are on the same journey as you, trying to embrace their worth, their enoughness, and their inherent beauty. We are all in this together, supporting one another, learning together, and growing together. And that's something to celebrate. You are enough, child. Always have been, always will be. And as you move forward in life, remember that you are deeply loved. Your journey is already enough. So take a deep breath and let go of any pressure, any doubt, and any fear. Just be. You are enough. And that's all you need to know.